Welcome to this week's video. We're talking about bad breath. We're going to learn how to get rid of bad breath and bad breath treatment that you can do at home. So welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we talk about everything medical and healthcare, and all of the information that we give on this channel is supported by scientific evidence, so you know you can trust the information. As always, with every single video, we will timestamp it in the description below, so if you want to find any specific information, feel free to click on the description and click on the bit that is relevant to you. Also, if you watch this video today and you learn something new and you think to yourself, you know what, I didn't know that and that was really helpful, please don't forget to click that like button. It's going to help me and it's going to help the video grow. Now let's begin. Now there's nothing worse than having bad breath and being conscious of it, especially during a job interview or a first date or something like that, and it's going to make you really self-conscious about your breath. So hopefully we're going to go through loads of information in this video that's going to help you. However, sometimes when you have bad breath, it's inevitable. So for example, morning breath, you can't really do much about that, unfortunately. But if you do have bad breath constantly, it can make you feel a bit uncomfortable, it can make you feel a bit embarrassed, sometimes it can affect your self-esteem, your confidence, and up to 50% of people have this bad breath, and a medical term for it is halitosis. It affects both women and men equally. And it can be caused by a variety of reasons, such as tonsillitis, acid reflux, poor dental hygiene, tooth infections. There are loads of different reasons that can be causing it. So we now know a little bit of science about bad breath, but not to worry, we are going to go through how you can get rid of bad breath immediately, and also things that you can do that are going to help prevent it from coming back. So you need to really watch the entire video to get a full idea of what to do to stop the bad breath. Now, let's begin. Okay, so let's begin with tip number one. Tip number one is gonna sound really basic, okay? But it's probably one of the easiest things that everyone can do when they're out and about and they don't have access to a sink. We're gonna go through some more complex stuff in a bit, but tip number one is basically using a sugar-free gum or sugar-free mint, okay? And by using this, it's just gonna mask that smell straight away, so it's a bit of an immediate fix for us. So in terms of sugar-free mints, you need to look for ingredients such as xylitol. Xylitol has been shown to stimulate saliva production, and that saliva production is gonna help with the bad breath and also get rid of some of the food that might be stuck in the mouth that might be causing bad breath. Chewing gum can also have the same effect, so stimulating that saliva production, and basically what they're all going to do is just give us some time before we can get to a sink and do other stuff. Now this leads me on nicely onto tip number two, and that's about using an antibacterial mouthwash. This can also be done like whilst you're on the go. You know, if you don't have it with you can always pop into a chemist or a supermarket, pick one up, and always go to a public restroom, use the cap as a little cup to measure the amount in, use it as a mouthwash, swish it around, and then spit it out in the sink. Now a quick swish of a good antibacterial mouthwash containing either chlorhexidine, hydrogen peroxide, or zinc can help protect your gums, reduce the risk of gingivitis, also known as gum disease, and kill off bacteria that is causing the bad breath. The rinsing action is also good for washing away any leftover food particles and debris. Now in terms of when you're picking your antibacterial mouthwash, you need to make sure that you're getting an alcohol-free mouthwash. The reason for this is, one, it has been shown that alcohol-containing products can increase the risk of mouth cancer, can't speak today. Two, alcohol-containing products can also reduce the amount of saliva production that we have, and this long-term can cause us to have worsening bad breath. So we don't want the alcohol-containing mouthwashes. Always go for alcohol-free. Now please do bear in mind that alcohol-free containing mouthwashes, sometimes, for example, chlorhexidine containing ones and hydrogen peroxide containing mouthwashes, can sometimes cause tooth discoloration. So please do bear that in mind. Also, they can cause some taste disturbance as well, especially when you first start using them. Please always read the information leaflet that comes with any of these medicines or mouthwashes, and also speak to your healthcare professional before purchasing any and using any. That's the most important thing, just to make sure that you're safe and suitable to use it. Now moving on to tip number three for the instant fix, you need to brush your teeth and scrape your tongue. Look, we're going to talk about this in more detail and about tongue scraping as well, but this is going to be a really quick fix. It's going to quickly get rid of the bad breath, it's going to get rid of all the bacteria, it's going to freshen your mouth, and also if you're using a good fluoride containing toothpaste, it's also going to protect your enamel, so it's a win-win. Now there's been loads of studies that have shown that brushing your teeth followed by scraping your tongue can massively reduce the amount of bad breath that we have. In fact, it can reduce it by up to 70% because the tongue has been shown to contain the most bacteria which causes that bad breath. So you really need to be incorporating the tongue cleaning as well. We are going to discuss this a bit further on in the video, but please bear that in mind. Loads of studies have shown it to help with bad breath. Okay, so I feel like we're starting to get somewhere now. We now know the quick immediate fixes that we can do for bad breath. Now we're going to talk about preventative measures to prevent us from having bad breath in the first place. So once these go hand in hand, you are going to become a bad breath expert and you are going to have the most beautiful smelling breath there is in the world. Okay, so tip number 1, we need to avoid foul smelling foods. Garlic, onions, coffee, dairy and canned fish are all common culprits for smelly breath. In fact, because garlic and onions contain something called sulfuric compounds, they are so smelly that not only can they leave an unpleasant odor on your tongue after you've eaten it, but as these compounds are absorbed into your bloodstream, they are later emitted a second time in your breath from your lungs. Meanwhile, foods such as dairy and coffee create favorable environments for bacteria in our mouths, and tinned fish, well, seafood is very strong smelling at the best of times, let alone when it's being canned and oxidized. Now, when I say avoid these strong smelling foods, it doesn't mean completely stop them from your life. It's just about thinking to yourself, well, how often am I having these foods? Or maybe should I have a coffee later on in the day when I'm, at home and I can brush my teeth? Or maybe should I have some food that's got loads of onions and garlic in it, which are great because it gives food flavor, but maybe I should have that food later on in the evening, when I'm having my dinner, and then followed by brushing my teeth at night time, so I'm not really going to feel too embarrassed about my breath afterwards. So it's about timing, really. So bear these in mind that certain foods increase the bacteria and certain foods just have really foul smell, so remember that. Now, moving on to preventative tip number 2, and it's all about reducing our sugar consumption. Okay, in the day and age that we live in today, loads of foods have lots of sugar in them. Sometimes they're hidden in there as well. So the common ones that everyone knows about: fizzy drinks, if you're having a coffee or tea, avoid putting sugar in there. Snacks, cakes, biscuits, all that sort of stuff, they are full of sugar. So we need to try and avoid them. You need to try and reduce your sugar consumption. The reason I'm telling you this is, 1, we all know that sugar increases decay and it can cause problems with our teeth. But 2, the bacteria in our mouth love eating away on the sugar. So if you start to feed yourself loads of sugar and it becomes a very sugary environment there, the bacteria are going to love it, they're going to go crazy, they're going to party. And when the bacteria party and they're multiplying and increasing, what does that mean? Well, it means bad breath. And you don't want the bad breath. Now, moving on to preventative tip number 3, it's all about having good oral hygiene. Remember, we need to brush our teeth twice a day and also scrape our tongue. Don't forget the scraping element. Now, if you want to learn how to brush your teeth properly, I do have a video on that already, and it's with Dr. Ersan, a good friend of mine, my dentist friend, and we've gone through everything you need to know about brushing your teeth in terms of flossing, in terms of brushing, and in terms of scraping that tongue. So if you want to know more information on that, and what toothpaste to buy, what toothpaste you shouldn't buy, everything, it's a really, really good video. I would highly recommend you watch it if you haven't watched it, and you're going to become a dental hygiene pro as well. So definitely watch that. I'll leave a link to it up here and in the description below. And moving on to tip number 4, if you smoke, you need to quit smoking. All tobacco products can stain your teeth and leave you with bad breath. Not only does it increase your risk of oral cancer and your ability to taste, it can leave you overall smelling unpleasant with the smell of tar and chemicals lingering in your hair, fingernails, clothes, and breath for hours afterwards. So if you want fresh breath, try cutting down on cigarettes and other tobacco products. This can really help. Now, I understand that quitting smoking can be difficult, so if you do want more information on that, I do have a really, really good video on how to quit smoking. I'm going to leave a link to it up here and in the description below. It's helped thousands of people stop smoking. It's got some really helpful information on there because it can be difficult, okay? But it's actually a decent video with some good support and good information on it that can really help you. So if you're interested in quitting, it's probably going to be the best, or not probably, it will be the best decision you've ever made in your life for your health. So please definitely watch it for more information. And moving on to my last preventative tip, so preventative tip number 5, is to see your dentist regularly, okay? Generally speaking, you should see a dentist every 6 months, but depending on your oral health, they might need to see you more often or a bit later than that as well. So please, please, please always see your dentist. Go for your checkups. Don't miss out on those checkups. I know it's not nice going to the dentist, but it can be really, really helpful with bad breath as well. They can also give it a clean. They can have a look at it. They can see if certain things might be causing the bad breath. So it's a really good idea to go and get regular checkups to make sure that your teeth are the best they can be. Sometimes as well, some people can have something called periodontal disease. Again, another reason why you should go and see a dentist. And periodontal disease is when you get an accumulation of bacteria in the mouth, and this can really cause that halitosis, that bad breath. So again, another reason to speak to your dentist. Now, moving on to when you should speak to your healthcare professional. I know that bad breath isn't usually something that you think about in terms of speaking to your healthcare professional about, but please bear in mind that if you have bad breath and you've tried the tips that we spoke about in today's video and you're not really seeing any improvement, in fact you're not seeing any improvement at all after a couple of weeks, and it's just ongoing and it's not getting any better, please speak to your healthcare professional so they can get, ask some questions, take a full history, do some examinations, because there might be something else underlying that could be causing it, again. You should also be sure to see your dentist if at any time you experience any swollen or bleeding gums, wobbly teeth, toothache, or problems with your dentures. But I'm going to leave more information about this in the description below for you as well. So it looks like we've come to the end of this week's video. I really do hope that you found this information helpful. I did try and structure it, like I said, so at the start we're talking about things that you can do straight away to help with the bad breath, followed by the preventative tips. So you are going to be a bit of a bad breath pro. In fact, you're going to have the best breath now, okay? So please do let me know how you get on. Leave a comment below as well with some of your own tips, because I'd love to read it, and I'm sure everyone else watching this video would too as well. As I always say at the end of every single week's video, always remember that you're awesome, and I will see you next week. How to get rid of bad breath. And bad breath, bad breath, evidence bad, so you know you can listen and So we now know, woo! All done, baby! Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow, or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.